Monday, guys. It was an awesome weekend, and now we're ready for a little bit of exercise. So you have some of my preliminary videos that sort of teach you the basics and foundations of simple things like how we stand, how we move through proper alignment, how we stretch, proper ways to start doing abdominals and our core, right? So we sort of have this building block happening. And now it's like, okay, Chris, but I want a little bit more. Great, let's go into a super basic, repetitive workout. Say 4 or 5 exercises, you do 10 to 15 repetitions, or maybe 30 seconds to a minute if you're more of a time counter, you have a big clock on your wall. And you do it 2 or 3 times through depending on where you're at physically. So this is how we start to build our workout plans off of the basics that we've been learning so far. So I like to start with a squat and reach. Now remember, squats, this is that nice neutral stance. We're going to shift our shins back and sit our booty back. So we're going to reach down toward the floor, and then we're going to reach up as high as we can like a good morning stretch and really squeeze the quads and lengthen. Don't just sort of hang out, right? So we're going to sit back, squat. Maybe we get to the floor. Maybe we're just right here first thing in the morning and we need a few right here before we can get lower with each one. Tempo is really up to you. You might want to go a little slower and really focus on that squat form that we've been working on. Or maybe you want to go a little faster because you've already got that squat form down and you're ready for a little more dynamic, right? So remember, squat and reach. Exercise number 1, we do it 10 to 15 times depending on how it feels in the body. This is how we start to wake up. Then maybe just a couple arm rolls, right? Just to kind of say, okay, where are my shoulders at right now? I want there to be some strength in there. And then we're going to come on down to the mat and we're going to do a push-up. Haven't done push-ups yet, but it's the basics of that plank position and just how we hold our body in perfect alignment. So we're going to take our hands so that they're directly under our shoulders. I'm going to do them from my knees because I think it's safer and it's a great way to get strong arms without having to put too much duress on the wrists and the elbow joints, but you can. And then 90 degrees is beautiful, or maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Some people like to go all the way to the floor. I love it. Some people want to just maybe do these little 2 to 3 inch benders, right? But notice that my stomach is in line, my head is in line, my booty is in line. So I'm not piped out, right? I didn't leave my butt behind. I'm not like coming down like this and being funky and rounded. I'm in low plank, which you can set up by doing a plank pose and simply lowering the knees. Then we're going to inhale to lower, exhale to push, ha. Inhale, lower, exhale to push, ha. Now a lot of times in the gym you see people doing all these fast, crazy push-ups. No momentum, guys. We want to pull in the muscle fibers. We want to strengthen the depth of every area. And so we don't want to go through momentum and just go through the movement. We want to feel those muscles fire, okay? We want to recruit as much as we can before we move on. So again, 10 to 15, okay? Maybe you start with 5. Maybe you like a little wider position in the hands. Maybe you like a little narrow. You're going to decide these things as you start to build your programs. And I'll talk more about variations because as you know, there's millions. So, but for today, it's just those 10 or 15 push-ups. Then maybe it's a child's pose after, or a downward facing dog just to get a little stretch and to be able to find yourself back up to standing, right? So we did our squat, we got our squat and reach, we did our push-ups, okay? Now let's grab a block, which you guys should all have. We're going to place that up into those inner thighs. We're going to pick up our dumbbells, maybe 5 pounds, maybe 8 depending, but never really much heavier than that, even for you big guys. And then we're going to pull our elbows up into our body line. Dumbbells come with us, and we're going to sit down into chair pose in yoga. So basically it's like a squat, right? I'm just sitting back into my hips, squeezing in on my block, helps me with alignment. I've hugged my elbows and my dumbbells in. And now I'm going to do what's called a tricep extension or a tricep kickback. So I'm just bending and extending my elbows. I'm keeping a long neck. Okay, my tummy is in, and I'm going to full extension of that arm. Now again, go faster because you just feel like you want a little bit more pace. Maybe you go one at a time because you're just like, nope, I'm just starting to fill this out, Chris. I need to understand the muscle firing. I want to do it with great form, so I'm going to go one at a time. Maybe you go just really slow and methodical, okay? Real long line. Higher the arms, the better. Longer lines of energy and really just fire to those triceps. Now again, 10 to 15, right? That was the reps we said we were going to do. Then all we're going to do is stand up, gently bend the knees, turn our palms to the front, and you see how my elbow tips are just slightly back behind the body line. So I'm not squeezed in, I'm not rounded, and then I'm going to go bicep curls. Unlocking my joints, knees are bent, facet lock, right? Bicep curl comes from the hips to the chest. From the hips to the chest, that's all it is. Hips to chest, 10 to 15 reps, okay? Lightweight, 5 pounds, 8 pounds, whatever you're feeling. Hammer curls, neutral grip. All I did was turn my grip to neutral, okay? My elbow tips are still back. I'm not doing this swinging motion, okay, because the weight was too heavy. I am isolated, I am strong, and I am focusing right on the front line of this arm. Those are your biceps, okay? So again, soft knee, tall stance, exhale as you curl, ha, right? And that's 10 to 15 as well. Then we're going to set that down. We're going to put our block down. We're going to come down onto the floor. For this exercise, we're just going to tabletop our legs, bring our hands behind our head. And you're going to inhale to prepare. You're going to exhale, ha, crunch as high as you can. Inhale to lower. Just before the head touches, exhale, ha, to crunch. Notice my elbows stay open out wide. My head never fully retouches. My feet are just above my knees, so I'm not lazy like down here. I've brought that into the position, lining up knees and hips. And then I'm pulling in on my abdominal core as I crunch higher, okay? So 10 to 15. Ha, you should have been doing it the whole time I'm describing. You're pushing out all your air on the entire contraction up and down. Now maybe feet elevated is too much for you. Maybe you want to just place a block between the knees, hands behind the head, ready position, and then ha, crunch from there. So again, variations, right? Feet on the floor, squeeze in on that block, and just do a really basic crunch. Or you can tabletop with or without the block. You know I love my block. And then ha, always exhaling that 10 to 15 times, working on those abdominals. All right. How easy was that? We did a leg, we did some upper, we did a little focus on the abs. Then maybe you want to go 10 jumping jacks, okay? So this is just cardio. This is going to get our heart rate up a little bit. Maybe it's just 10 of them, or maybe you just want to run in place, okay? Just a little, or a little fake jump rope. Lots of options, right? Just to move and get that cardio burst. 10 jump jacks, maybe 15, 20 seconds of running, and then guess what? We go again. So, this time, add weights. We go squat and press. It's still the squat and reach that we did at the very beginning, but now we're doing it with a set of dumbbells. Maybe we're going to go narrower. Remember we worked on those 3 positions of the legs. You can do that right here. As you work through your form, watch yourself in a mirror. Don't start getting out of alignment with your knees, your feet, and your hips, okay? Remember, that's round 2, 10 to 15 repetitions. Then you set down those dumbbells, you come down onto that mat, and you're going to give yourself that second set of push-ups. Now, maybe you play with a little narrower, bending the elbow is going to come into those triceps a little bit more. Maybe we go out really wide fingertips wide, bringing the chest right down alongside those thumbs. That's for your upper back and shoulders. But all the while, maybe we just want to hold top of a push-up pose. And this round, that's enough for me because I'm starting to get tired. This is great. I can even go right here and just hold for 10 to 15 seconds. So super easy, right? So you did that. Then we come up. We have our block. We placed it between those inner thighs. We grab our dumbbells. We sit down in our little chair. We pull our elbows up, and we go right back into those kickbacks, 10 to 15 times. Okay? So you're here. Whew. Squeeze that arm. All the way back. Every time, right? Exhale. Ha. Stomach in. Neck long. Vision's nice and strong. Toes feather light in those shoes, right? 10 to 15. Then we stand up. Maybe we want to add a calf raise to the bicep curl, okay? So we're lifting the heels, and then we just added a part of an exercise. We just made that a little bit harder. Elbow tips still back. Really soft grip. We're not trying to over grip our dumbbells. We're just lifting and lowering, or maybe we're just right here. Maybe we're more tired this time. We're doing one at a time, okay? You guys, there's so many levels and so many ways to play with your workouts, okay? Stomach in, facet lock, slight bend in those knees. Really strong, working the front of that arm, okay? Really, really good. Then we finish our 2 arms. We did 10 to 15 reps or whatever felt good. Then we're coming back down onto that mat, grabbing that block. Maybe the first time we don't tabletop, maybe the second time we do, or maybe the first time we tabletopped and now we're a little more tired. So now we're gonna set those feet down and we're just gonna work on a real basic crunch, which is still awesome, and I'm still exhaling as I come up, right? So really focusing, keeping the neck long, almost like there's a orange between your chin and your chest, right? Just a little bit of energy there so your head's not dropping back and your chin's not pulling forward. Once again, tabletopped or low, and then maybe you add a little twist in this time. These are obliques. I think we went over these on one of the videos, right? Ha! You're still exhaling. You're going side to side. Maybe you're doing 10 reps. Maybe you're doing 16 because you got to be even, and 15 wouldn't be even on crunches. All that, right? And then you rock yourself up. You're still feeling good. You're like, all right, I'm going round 3. So you do your 10 jumping jacks, or maybe you run in place again as that interim cardio between the 2. Maybe you do this little fake jump rope, okay? That is how you build a workout, you guys. So then you would do that whole thing one more time, or maybe 2 was enough for you today. But what we're doing is we're going to start to build on the foundations of what we've learned. We've got these building blocks. We're learning how to move our body in space and time in a manner that will not create injury. So we're healthy. We're really aware when we're exercising. We're present. You can have music on or off, but please always be aware of what your body's doing. Pay attention to the cues I'm sending your way. That's me if I was there telling you sit back in those legs, watch that big toe and that knee line up, right? Stomach in, elbows back, all the little things we talk about. Guys, that is workout number 1, the real basic fundamentals of starting to build a program. We're going to go more and more advanced now that we're getting a bigger, if you will, repertoire of things that we're learning. Guys, I'm Chris. This is Central Florida. Signing off for a Monday. I'll talk to you guys real soon. We'll get some more stretch exercises in there as well, and maybe do a quick yoga flow for my yogis out there. Take care. Love you guys. Talk soon.